This is Dom from BlackToad Studios, and tonight we are starting a narrative campaign. We come to the industrial world of Gullus Prime. Gullus Prime, unfortunately, has gone silent, and the Ultramarines have sent a task force to find out what is going on this planet and to get it back up and running. So as the Ultramarines land on the planet, they discover a Necron dynasty has awoken and is slowly retaking the planet. So tonight is the first step in this story arc, and we'll have Ultramarines battling the Necron forces. Let's have a look at the forces that are playing today. Right, so here are my 1,000 points of Necrons. Of course, we're going with Mefrit as our dynasty. It's a battalion we have. So starting over on the right here, we have got 2 Canoptic Tomb Sentinels there. We have got 3 squads of Immortals with Tesla carbines. 1 squad of 6, 2 squads of 5. An Overlord here with a War Scythe. We have got a Cryptic with a Staff of Light, which has also been upgraded to the Mefrit relic on stuff like that. 5 death marks down here, and 6 Canoptic wraiths. No upgrades on them, completely bare bones. And the Warlord down here will have enduring will as his Warlord trait. So we've got 8 command points. Now let's have a look at the invading Ultramarine Recon force. Right, and here we are. We've got Matt's 1,000 points of Ultramarines that come down to the planet. Bit of recon to find out why it's gone silent. So we have got a battalion over here. We've got 3 squads of scouts, 2 missile launchers, 1 with heavy bolter there. We've got a librarian with a jetpack here, a lieutenant with a combi plasma and a power sword. Moving over to the outriders, we've got 5 bikers back here, 2 with grab guns, 1 with a combi grab on the sergeant there. Got another 5 bikers here, 2 melter guns, and the sergeant there has a power sword. Moving to the front here, we have got the captain with a power fist and a storm shield. A shield's been upgraded to the shield eternal. Attack bike over here with a multi-melter, and a land speeder here with a multi-melter. Lots of nasty weapons here. Right, so we've got 9 command points here. Of course, we're Ultramarines. Now let's have a look at the mission and deployment. Right, so both sides have now deployed. And so the mission we have here is that the Ultramarine Scout Force here has secured the landing pad, ready for more forces to be dropped onto the planet. Unfortunately now, it's also awakened the Necron force over on this flank here. So Necrons are deployed along this line here. A few things in reserve, the Cryptek Stalkers and the Death Marks are in reserve at the moment. So the Ultramarines have seen the Necron forces, they have called for backup. And across the field here, the outriders of the Ultramarine expedition have now arrived from the edge of the battlefield and are now racing to reinforce their brothers, the landing pad here. So the mission is at the end of 5 turns. Whoever has the most models within 12 inches of the center of the landing pad, either on it, around it, beneath it, will be the victor. Of course, we've also got the secondaries of Warlord Kill and First Blood. We won't have a line breaker because, of course, there's no real battle lines. So let's move on from that. So the Ultramarines deployed first. They get +1 to the roll that they're going to do right now. Matt, go for it. 6. Okay, here we go. That's a 3. So that's not a 6. And see if we can seize. We roll that. It's a little bit controversial, that one. That was a 1. Right, so on to turn 1 for the Ultramarines. Right, so end of turn 1 movement for the Ultramarines. So up on the landing pad, they all remain stationary, getting themselves ready to lay down a hail of fire towards the Necrons. And as you can expect, the outriders are racing across the plains here. They're all moving up to try and reinforce the defenders and also attack, maybe launch a lightning attack against the attackers there. So they are all moving up. Everything has gone pretty much flat out over here. And we're now going to see what the Ultramarines can do when it comes to a firestorm against the Necrons. So let's move on to turn 1, shooting for Ultramarines. We're going to start the shooting phase here. We've got this squad of yellow cloaked Ultramarine scouts. The missile, Matt is going to play the flak missile stratagem and come down here and target the Wraiths. The 4 snipers are going to be attempting to shoot the Cryptek here. So, Matt, do you want to roll for your missile? One moment. Let's have a look, see if we can hit him. All right, so it's +1 to hit. So you're hitting on 2s. Oh, no. And it was a D3 mortal wounds?
Yes.
Here comes a 1.
Wow.
Yes. Right, so 1 mortal wound to the Wraiths there. And then we're going to be having the snipers firing into the Cryptek. 3s to hit. 1 miss there. 3 hits. And toughness 4.
4s. 6s, mortal wounds.
No, nothing. Right, so far 1 mortal wound. Let's see what else Matt can do. So now Matt is going to be firing the sniper rifles back at the Cryptek, and the missile, without the stratagem, is going to be firing into the Wraiths. So let's have a look, see what he can do. First off, Matt's firing the missile. He is hit. And now he needs a 3 to wound. And a 1. Oh, but you've got Lieutenant.
Oh, you do indeed.
You've got Lieutenant, so no, still not good enough. And then the scout snipers will now be firing shots into the Cryptek. Hoping to take him out there. So that's 2 hits so far. 4 to wound. 1 wound. So 1 save here. Oh no, so that's 1 wound on the Cryptek there. Let's see what else the Ultramarines can do. So next up here, we have got the bolter squad here. The heavy bolter is going to try a hellfire shot into the Wraiths down here. It's just about in range. And the bolters are going to be firing into this front squad of immortals, try and do a bit of damage there before they get too close. Right, let's have a look what Matt can do. So first up, heavy bolter with hellfire rounds. See if he can hit. No. Oh, Matt, that's not good. Right, and the bolters.
Bolter rule.
That's it. Yeah, bolter rule here. So we've got 4 hits. And we need some 4s to wound. So it's 3 wounds. That's pretty good going. No AP, so 3 up saves. Ah, there we go. All saved. Whew. Right, I think that is it for the Ultramarines, but let's have a quick look. Right, so Matt has now fired all the scouts here. The Lieutenant, unfortunately, is out of range of his bolter there, but he has caused a wound on the Cryptek and a wound on the Wraiths. Unfortunately, that's not really going to help too much, but let's move into turn 1 for the Necrons. Right, so turn 1 movement for the Necrons, and they are pushing up towards the landing pad there in complete silence. They're marching forwards and getting their guns ready. So we've got my will be done on this squad here, and the Cryptek has obviously regained 1 wound from living metal. Wraiths are also pushing up here as well. A bit out of charge range at the moment, but they are getting closer and closer. So let's start shooting phase, and hopefully some of these Tesla carbines can do a bit of damage to the defenders up there. Naturally, defenders have got +1 to their cover save while being up on the landing pad there, so hopefully we can do some damage, but let's find out. Let's start the shooting phase here with these 5 here. They're going to fire their Tesla carbines across the battlefield up onto the landing pad there. Right, so let's see if we can do any damage to these filthy humans. Right, so 10 shots here, hitting on 3s, and of course Tesla is going off on 6s. Let's hope for some 6s. Right, okay, so there's a few hits there, and as you see right over there, we've got a little Tesla shot there going off. So let's see if we can wound any. Right, so at this range, I've got no AP, but strength 5, toughness 4, so 3s to wound here, 8 shots. Okay, so that is 5 saving throws required for the scouts with bolt guns. So you get +1 cover save, and no AP there. So is that a 3 up save? Okay, so that is 2 dead. Dear oh dear. Okay, let's move on to the next bit of shooting for the Necrons. Alright, so next up we've got these 5 here, just behind the first squad. But instead of firing at the bolter squad there, we're actually going to split our fire, and we're going to go up here to the yellow cloaked scouts. They're a bit of a threat with those sniper rifles and that missile launcher. It could turn out quite nasty if they concentrate and get a good bit of shooting off there. So let's see how many hits we can get. Right, so here we go. 10 shots hitting on 3s. Tesla going off. Oh, there's a couple of 6s there, but there's also a couple of misses there. So I think that's 11 hits in total. Right, so 11 hits here, and wounding on 3, strength 5, toughness 4. Of course, we're out of AP range this way, and they also have cloaks. So they've got a 2-up save up there at the moment. So that's 6 saves, please. Here comes some 1s. Here comes some... Oh, 1. 1 has fallen. Right. One sniper rifle's gone. Right. Now, let's get the last squad. See if they can do anything. So finally, the squad behind the Wraiths here. They've had my will be done from the Overlord there. So their Tesla ability will be going off on 5s, and they are hitting on 2s. And they are going to be firing up into these guys here. We need to make sure these sniper rifles are out of action, because that Cryptek is very squishy and could be in a bit of trouble. Let's have a look, see if we can do anything. Right, so as I said, we're hitting on 2s. Tesla is going off on 5s. Okay, so we have got a couple of misses there, but also we've got a fair few 5s and 6s there. So hopefully this will be enough. So in a fair few hits there from the 6 Immortals. Let's have a look. So strength 5, toughness 3, and we're still out of AP range. So he frees here to wound. So there's quite a few there. Let's take these fails out there. There. Right, so that is a fair few there. That's 12, 14 armor saves, please, sir, of 2+. Now, I've still got 4 scouts alive there, so hopefully we'll lose a few, but we'll see here. Here we goes. Okay, can you see any 1s?
Just the 1. Just
the 1. Ah, there. So it took a lot of fire, but the scouts are pretty well defended up on that landing pad. So that is it for the Necron shooting. I don't think I've done any damage really to warrant any morale saves. But let's have a quick look at the battlefield. Yeah, so looking at a battlefield here, they've lost 2 scouts from here, 2 scouts from there. So it's not too bad. Squads have been reduced a little bit there, so no need for a leadership test. And if we look back across there, those bikers are going to get closer. So let's move on to turn 2 for the Ultramarines. That's a turn 2 movement for the Ultramarines. So the bikes kind of pushed up under the landing pad here, as well as the captain. And you've got the librarian there as well, and they're moving up just underneath. A few of them there are in range with their bolters of the Wraiths. Another squad here taking a flank, coming around on the side, assisted here by the land speeder. They're now coming in. They've got some shots lined up, and hopefully they'll be able to put a bit of fire in and take the pressure off of the scouts, which, like I said previously, have taken some casualties up here. So let's have a look. Let's move into turn 2, psychic and shooting for the Ultramarines. So we're starting once again like we did previously. So we've got a flak missile going off into the Wraiths, and the 2 scouts are going to try again to damage this Cryptek here. So Matt, do you want to roll some dice? So for the flak missile first. Oh, yep, so it's a hit and then D3 mortal wounds. That's 2. So the wounded Wraith is now gone. Right, okay, so let's see what the scouts can do. Right, so next up here, we've got these scouts just putting in some sniper rounds into the Cryptek here to hopefully reduce his capacity to aid the others. So let's go for it. So we're hitting on 1 of those hit, and then a 4 to wound. No, nothing. Right, let's see what else the Ultramarines have. So next up here, we've got a squad of scouts. The 2 bolters are going to go over into this front squad of Immortals here, and the heavy bolter is going to play this stratagem again to deal some mortal wounds out to the Wraiths here before they get too close. Right, let's see what Matt can do. So we've got Hellfire coming into the Wraiths. Oh no, these stratagems are not paying off. And then we've got the bolters firing into the Immortals. 4 shots with the bolter drill. So that's 3. Nice. And then 4s again. No, nothing. These scouts are not doing very well here. And let's see what else the scouts can do. So up here, the Lieutenant is now in range. He's got his combi plasma, so he's going to be firing the plasma down into these Immortals again, try and do a bit of damage to them. We did kind of and ah between the Wraiths and the Immortals, although the plasma, of course, will affect these, while it won't affect these at all. So, Matt, let's roll some dice. Lucky you didn't overcharge. Right, it's not going well for the guys on the landing pad. let's see if anyone else is able to do anything. So next up here, Matt's decided to fire the last squad of scouts, the ones in the black cloaks. So the snipers are going to be firing down into the squad of immortals here, and he's going to fire a crack missile. Sorry, the snipers are going to go into the cryptek. He's going to fire a crack missile down into these immortals here. So fingers crossed he can do something. That's first up, we've got a crack missile coming in. It's going to hit. It hit. 2's to wound. Wounded. 5 up save is -2 AP. He's saved. Yep, sorry, he got all the way through the hitting and the wounding, which he's been struggling with, and unfortunately it's saved. So now the snipers at the cryptek. So that's quite good. 3 hits, 4's to wound. 6's of course doing mortal wounds. Okay, so that's 2 wounds there. 1 wound has got through there, so he's down to 3 wounds on the cryptek. So next up, after firing everything on the landing pad, the reinforcements are now going to open fire. So this land speeder, so we're going to fire his multi-melter down into the wraiths, seeing them as a bigger threat at the moment, and see if he can get through their protective, I don't know, shield. So it's rolled to hit. Need a 3, 4. Yeah, you moved. Yeah, sorry, my bad. Oh no, see, and then a 3 to wound. Oh no, please pass. Oh, right, okay, let's move on to the bikers. Right, so round up for the rest of the shooting here. These bikers fired in, the front 2 are in range, targeting the immortals, killing off one of the immortals there through bolter fire. And then down under here as well, the bikers and the leader there fired their bolters into the wraiths, taking 2 wounds off one of the back ones there. So a little bit of firepower there, a bit of assistance which was required. But that is it, we've got no assaults, so we're going to move on to turn 2 for the Necrons. So turn 2 movement. Unfortunately, the immortal down here remains out of action at the moment, but everyone is pushed up again. My will be done, has been put on them. The wraiths are just down here, they're ready to launch up on the landing pad there. And one of the reserve units has appeared up on this building here, looking down on the bikers, but also on this land speeder here. Hopefully we can do something against that. So that is my movement. Let's move in to turn 2 shooting for the Necrons. Right, so turn 2 shooting. Up here, the cryptek used his Staff of Light, or the upgraded relic, killing off one of the scouts up there. These guys fired all their Tesla weapons underneath towards the bikes down there. You can see them just lurking at the end, killing off 1. Down here, these 2 squads fired off into the bikes over there, killing off 2. So it's gone quite well. We've done some casualties, and hopefully we'll get into assault in a moment. We are going to come around here though, because this guy here, my friendly little centipede, will be firing into the land speeder here. And we're also using a stratagem called talent for destruction, or annihilation, sorry. And basically any rolls of a 6 to hit will create another roll. So fingers crossed we can do something here. So that's D6 shots. 2. I'm going to command point that. 3, yeah, see, it was worth it in the end. So normally a hit need 3s, but he did move, and it is a heavy weapon, so only 4s here. So that's 2 hits. We didn't get any 6s. Strength 10, toughness 5 or 6. I'm pretty sure it's toughness 6 for a land speeder, but I might be wrong, you know, I have been wrong in the past.
Toughness 5. Toughness
5, oh dear, so 2's to wound. So 1 was wounded. There's a -4 AP, so it's not going to help you. And then D6 damage. 4 wounds on the land speeder. That's quite a nice bit of damage there. Right, so that is the end of shooting. We're going to move on to assault, turn 2 for Necrons. So turn 2 assault. The wraiths charged up against the scouts. One unfortunately was killed to Overwatch with a crack missile. Only had 1 wound left, and the crack missile just finished it off. So the 4 wraiths charged up, killing off the 2 scouts, and now they're very close to the centre there, and giving the guys on the landing pad no option but to unleash 100% of their firepower on these guys. So moving on to Ultramarines, turn 3. Right, so turn 3 movement for the Ultramarines. As you can see here, the land speeder is going all out here on 2 wounds left. He's just coming over and attempting a cheeky little assassination. Very Ultramarine-esque, I kind of say here from that. Down here, the bikes and the captain are coming out from the landing pad. Got some nice shots lined up at the wraiths there, but they are definitely can fire elsewhere as well if needed. And down here as well, you'll find the librarian has jumped up onto the landing pad to aid his brother, the lieutenant, in this horrible threat that could be ahead of them. I think a null zone might be in order. Hopefully, for my sake, he fails and just lines me up 2 little piecemeals there. And that is it for movement. Let's see what they can do in turn 3, psychic and shooting. So as expected, Matt is going to try a null zone here on the librarian in the centre, which will make these rogues a little bit more vulnerable to everything else that's coming that way. All right, do you want to roll up? 2, 6. Oh, 12 to perils. Does he want to re-roll that? Do you want to re-roll, or, I mean, just 1 dice? Need an 8?
I'll re-roll.
Yeah, re-roll. Good man, good man. Oh no, double perils. Right, okay, we'll get this sorted and we'll come back. Right, so next up, Might of Heroes on the lieutenant standing next to him. Needs a 6. Becomes double 6 again. There you go, passed. Can't do anything about that. There you go. Right, so that is the end of psychic. Let's move on to shooting. So we're going to start shooting over here with the land speeder on the Overlord. Right, so multi-melter. 4's up. Oh, hit. 3 to wound. 4 up invulnerable save. And then 2d6, pick the highest. 5. Okay, so because of his Warlord trait, it's actually -1 damage. That's 4 wounds on him. Ouch, painful. And by any chance, has he got another weapon there?
He's got a heavy flamer.
Oh goodness. Okay, so heavy flamer.
6 hits.
2, yeah. So only 4s here. 1, okay. Oh no, 5 wounds. In fact, I am dead. You have killed the Warlord. Yep, so I'm going to re-roll that dice here with, see if I can pass. Yes, there we go. Whew. 1 wound left on the Overlord there. Very close call there. Almost an assassin in the making there. Right, so carrying on the shooting phase here. The bikers here fired their grab guns up into the stalker there, did 1 wound. The bolters, however, fired down in and took out the last 4 immortals there, so they are completely gone. Up on the landing pad, because of null zone going off, we had the rockets, sniper rifles, bolt guns, combi plasma, melter guns down here, bolt guns, everything firing in. Took out a couple of the wraiths, took out one of the wraiths, and the other one's now down on 1 wound there, so quite close to death at the moment. The captain also fired his bolter down here, killing off one of the immortals in this squad, lowering it down to 4. And that's it. So, Matt, do you want to do a charge, or are you willing to be charged?
Let me have a think.
Okay, all right, we might be back with turn 3 combat. We'll find out. End of turn 3 assault, and over here everything on the landing pad charged into the wraiths there, trying to fend the attackers off. They're killing off one of the wraiths there. The other 2 are just holding on. A couple of scouts were killed. 1 there, and I think 1 in that squad were both killed. So a bit of damage was dealt out. Over here, the land speeder did a suicide charge into the Overlord there. Didn't do anything, but then had 4 wounds inflicted upon him. So that wasn't particularly nice for him. So he's gone crashing to the ground. So that is the end of the Ultramarine turn. Let's move on to Necrons turn 3. Right, so turn 3 movement for the Necrons here. So the squad have moved up slightly. They've also pushed up with the Overlord just behind there. We're also greeted with our other centipede friend over on this flank here. We're going to be targeting these bikes and hopefully we can do something. The Cryptek has leapt up here to join in the fray on the centre there. Possibly not the best move, but he needs to get up there. Yep, he is remaining stationary. He's staying stationary because he is a heavy weapon and he's really need to get some hits in against these guys. Death marks have landed down here, jumped out of hyperspace, and hopefully they can do something. We'll see. And that is it for the movement phase. So let's move in to shooting. So we're going to start down here with shooting. This guy's going to fire into the bikes there. So D6 shots, 5 shots. Going to be hitting on 4s because he's a heavy weapon. Okay, so one hit. Wounding on 2s because he's strength 10. Yep, it's -4 AP and D6. No, it's flat 3 damage. So 1 bike is gone kaput. Gone. Right. Okay. So next up, we are going to be moving over here and see how many guys we can get. Okay, so these immortals here, they're firing Tesla carbines over into the bikes there. They're within 12 inches, so with the Mefrit special rule, they have got an AP now, which is quite helpful. So we've got 8 shots, we're hitting on 2s, and Tesla's going off on 5s. Right, okay, so that's a few misses there. But also we've got 3 5s there, so that's an extra 6 shots. Right, let's see how many wounds we can get. Right, so with the Immortals going in, they are strength 5 on the bikes, which are toughness 5, so 4s to wound. Okay, so there's a nice few there. I can see 6 there, so it will be 6 saves, or 4 up for the bikers. Are they able to do it? Let's find out. You can roll down here, Matt.
4.
Yep, 6 saves or 4+. Yeah, being optimistic there. Okay, so that is 1 and a bit biker dead. Yeah, removing the bolters. The bolters are slowly going. Right, okay, so let's move on to the next bit of shooting. Next up here, we've got these 2 Immortals back here, firing their Tesla carbines into the bikes there. So that's 4 shots. This range we haven't got an AP, and there's no, we're hitting on 3s, and Tesla's going off at 6s. Okay, so we've got 3 hits there, but of course we've got a 6, so that in fact turns to 5 hits because of the additional 2. They are strength 5, toughness 5, so we need 4s again. Okay, so that's 2. So that's 2 saves, a 3 up for the bikes. So that's 1. So one biker is dead after wounded from the previous lot of shooting. And let's see if the Cryptek up here can fire down on these guys here with 3 shots. 3 shots, hitting on 3s. That's 2. And it is strength 6, so 3s. So it's 2, and I believe within half range, which that is, we get +1 to wound to the modifier. Let me just check though. Yeah, just checking. Of course he does. So it's -4 AP and 2 damage each. So that's 2 dead bikes down there. Ouch! Nasty stuff. Right, so we're going to move along to the other side. See if we can do anything there. Right, so up here we're going to be firing down into those bikes there. So it's D6 shots heavy. Didn't move, so we're hitting on 3s, but it's 2 shots. Hitting on 3s. 2 hits. Wounding on 2s. 1. So 1 biker is kaput. Is that times? Right, let's move on to death marks. Right, so 5 death marks fired in here, killing off the 2 bikes. First time I use them, I've actually quite liked them because they got a fair few hits. 2 mortal wounds on the wounding roll, and with the Mefrit rule as well, with an AP modifier, they did very well and killed off 2 bikes there. Very happy with that. Matt, probably not so happy, but let's not talk about that. Right, so we're going to move on to assault, and hopefully the Wraiths can sustain another attack from the Ultramarines in the centre. Right, so the end of assault for the Necrons here. I think we killed 2 scouts off. We didn't charge the Cryptek in because it's not really worth it because he's a bit vulnerable when he gets in combat. But in return though, the Wraiths took 2 wounds from the Lieutenant there with his power sword because the null field is still in effect. Null zone is still in effect here. Right, so we're going to move on now to turn 4 for the Ultramarines. Turn 4 movement for the Ultramarines. This scout has fallen out of combat here with a heavy bolter, leaving the remaining scouts and the lieutenant there because the librarian has jumped out and down right in front of the overlord there, ready to cause some bit of mayhem here. He's also joined by the captain and the remaining bike. They're now coming up and they're hoping to blast their way through the Immortals and join the fight against the overlord there. They see defeat is definitely coming, but they are willing to take the small victories rather than the overall battle. It's about winning the war, maybe losing this battle, but who knows. So let's move on to turn 4, psychic and shooting. First off, we're going to try and cast null zone from the librarian there, which could be quite nasty for the overlord. No, unfortunately not. Then we're going to try maybe a smite.
Yep.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh no!
Super smite.
Super smite. And the overlord is definitely the closest unit here. D6. 1. Oh!
That's command point, that one.
Come on, boy. You get another one.
Cocked.
Yeah, cocked. We roll that one. 4. Yeah, so the Overlord has fallen there. Dear oh dear. All right, let's move on to the rest of shooting. Next up, heavy bolter here, firing down into the Immortals. He's hitting on 5s. These, of course, are Ultramarine falling back. And heavy weapon. No, so nothing on that one there. And I think next bit of shooting we've got are going to be the bikes here, but let's have a look. So the biker here is going to fire a melter gun in there, and both the captain and the biker are going to fire the bolters into the Immortals there. So let's have a look, see what can happen. So first off, we're going to fire the melter gun here. Yep, so that's a hit. See if he wounds. He's a 3 to wound. Oh no, can't save that. So how much damage? 5 wounds there, pretty nasty stuff. Right, okay, and let's see what else is going to happen. So we left there with the melter gun doing some damage on here. The bolters all fired. Lots of hits, lots of wounds, but the Immortals' armour was just able to sustain that. Up here though, a scout had a bolt pistol, fired into one of the wraiths and took it out there. So there's only one wraith remaining there. We're going to move on now into turn 4 assault for the Ultramarines. Turn 4 assault for the Ultramarines. So the lieutenant here charged into the Cryptek there, doing 1 wound to the Cryptek, and the Cryptek fought back with the relic and did 1 wound back. So that's quite tit for tat there. Down here, however, the biker charged into the squad, didn't do anything. It was then down to the captain, who wiped out all 4 of the Immortals and had to free themselves up there. So we're going to move on to turn 4 for the Necrons. Right, so turn 4 for the Necrons. Over here we played a stratagem, repaired subroutines, and we've got back 2 wraiths, which are quite handy to have, just to make sure this objective is getting secured. Stalker over here advanced and ran across the walkway there. So hopefully he's within range of that, but otherwise he's just going to sit there for now. Down here the Mortals have just slightly shuffled around to make sure we can get some shots into the Librarian there. And underneath the landing pad, if we can see them, the death marks are lurking around, getting ready to get some shots in, but they're just coming in on the end there. See if we can get some shots in against the captain here. But that is that. We're going to move on to turn 4, shooting for Necrons. Right, so these 5 Immortals now are going to be firing into the Librarian there. So we've got 10 shots, and we are going to be hitting on 3s. 6s, of course, will create more shots. So that's 6 there. We're going to get 2 shots back, so that's 10. And hopefully we can kill this guy, because he's a little bit annoying. And then 3s to wound. Oh dear. So that would be 6 saves within 12 inches there. 6 saves and -1 AP. Can he do it? Let's find out. Right. Oh, 1.
Just 1. He survives.
Okay, so maybe someone else can help. So we're going to fire this guy into the Librarian there. He's clearly the closest target. So D6 shots, 2. Hitting on 3s because he didn't move. Wounding on 2s. Okay, so that's 2 invulnerable saves. Doesn't have an. Oh well, he is dead. 6 damage. Gone. Sorry, Mr. Librarian, you are kaput. And that is it for shooting. We're going to move on now to assault, see if we've got any charges coming up. Right, it's a turn 4 assault for Necrons. 2 scouts here are now perished. They're both gone. And the wraiths are just standing there. Here, the Cryptek just survived combat here. I don't fancy his chances now, but the lieutenant is still there. And down here, yeah, these guys killed off my centipede of death. And they are freed up. So, let's move in turn 5 for the Ultramarines. Turn 5 movement for the Ultramarines. So the bikers have fallen back all the way back across here underneath the landing pad. Lieutenant here is backed off from the Cryptek. I'd like to think that he's backing off and he's going to jump down and get on the back of the bike and ride off into the sunset. I don't think that's going to happen though, but we'll find out what he's up to in a moment. And finally the scout just over there, still holding his own, just firing that heavy bolter away, trying to kill off the wraiths before it's too late. So that is it. Let's move into turn 5, psychic and shooting for Ultramarines. Down here we're just starting off with the remaining scout there. He's going to fire hellfire rounds into the wraiths, I'm guessing. So let's have a look. No, This Hellfire round is not particularly
I'm going to
accurate.
spend a command point.
You can spend a command point as well. There you go. Hit and D3 wounds. Here comes a 1. So one of the wraiths is dead, and another takes a wound there as well. Cool. Okay, let's see what happens next. Right, so rest of shooting there. The lieutenant fired a plasma in there, killing off the cryptech, and down here, the bikers fired everything they had into the death marks. Killed off one of them with the melter gun, but the bolter guns just kind of ricocheted off of the death marks there, and that is it. We've got no assaults.
Might do.
Oh, we might have an assault here. All right, okay, let's come back with turn 5 assault for the Ultramarines. Right, so combat-wise, the commander here charged into Deathmark, killing off 3 of the squad. Well, originally killed 4, but we had a re-roll and 1 passed. So these 1 in combat. That's just what we need. And that was it for assault turn 5 for the Ultramarines. We're going to move in now to turn 5 for the Necrons. So turn 5 movement for the Necrons, and we are able to bring back 2 more death marks there. They've fallen out of combat against the captain there, because let's face it, that power fist will just hack through the snipers there. Across the field we have the wraiths now turn their attention to that scout. The scout, which has been firing a heavy bolter in their side for the last few rounds. They're not really very fond of him. Down here, these immortals have advanced just to get him 12 inches of the center objective there to make sure they can score it. And of course, he's just sitting up there waiting, maybe going to pop off a shot against the lieutenant there. Right, so let's move in to turn 5 shooting. Right, so end of turn 5 shooting here. The Immortals fired up with their Tesla carbines into the scout there, killing him off. Quite a few wounds were dealt out there. And here as well, unfortunately missed. So we're going to rely on the Wraiths here to make sure the Lieutenant is cleared off of this objective. So let's move into Assault. Right, so end of turn 5 Assault. The Wraiths charged in here. Dealt some wounds, taking the Lieutenant down to 1 wound, but then the Lieutenant fought back, killing off the Wraith on 1 wound there. So at the end of the conflict here, there's a Wraith and a Lieutenant on there. So it's a nice ending there, because this has been the scene of some bloody fighting up here. Bodies lay everywhere, and yeah, it's very brutal up there. So that is it. It is the end of the game. We'll have a quick add up of the score. Right, so at the end of the battle, we said it was models left within 12 inches of the centre of this thing here. So at the end of it, we have got death marks down there. We've got a Wraith up here. We've got the Killer Centipede up here. We've got a few Immortals here. So that's 7 points. We've also got ourselves First Blood. And for the Ultramarines, we've got a Lieutenant up here, a Biker here, Captain down here, and they got Warlord kill. So that is a grand total of 8 points for Necrons and 4 points for the Ultramarines. So Necrons, we're just about, we just got it through at the end there. Ultramarines did survive, which is a good thing. They're able to call in support now and seeing who's going to come planetfall and aid them in this bloody conflict. And yeah, a pretty brutal game. Matt, have you got a model of the match at all?
Probably the captain. He was quite nifty with his power fist, wiped out quite a few, although the Death Marks did decide to jump back up here.
Yes, they did quite well there actually. Yeah, he's come along, he's smashed people. He's been a bit of a threat as well. I've had to try and avoid him the best I can. Very nice. For myself, it's actually probably going to just be the Wraiths, to be honest. I know it's a bit of a cliche thing to say Wraiths are the most effective unit, but they held up in the centre, they took a lot of fire, and there's still 1 left at the end of the game. So that's pretty good going there. Right, so as we said there, the Ultramarines have survived, and they are going to be launching more forces down onto the planet to establish a better foothold and push Necron forces out and make sure all Imperial facilities are secure. So, we'll see you next time. This is Dom from BlackToad Studios. Thank you very much for watching, and take care.